Today's review is going to be Men in Black 3. I mean, if there's one thing I like about the Men in Black films, is the Men in Black theme by Will Smith. I mean, it's so good.
A billion out of 15 cents. Understand, understood, I'm a hoe. Yeah, move and shake a culture. Barrier border, record breaker, won't you? Give credit where credit is due.
Hi guys, it's Adafalk here and welcome to my review of Men in Black 3 starring Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones and Josh Brolin. Now, I like the Men in Black franchise, as it's now called. The first one is a very original, very funny and very enjoyable film. The second one, despite all these people not really liking the film, I think it was actually surprisingly good. And yes, I understand the points and I understand why people were so negative about the film, but overall I thought it was quite funny. So 10 years later we are given Men in Black 3, the same cast and a time travel story. From the trailers I wasn't really expecting too much, but it definitely did look better than the second one, so I went in, you know, just expecting to have fun and just to enjoy a Men in Black film, especially because it's Will Smith's last film in the past 5 years. Men in Black 3 is actually a good film. It's definitely not a milestone in the franchise, but it's definitely better than Men in Black 2, so those who are worried about the quality of this film, if you didn't like Men in Black 2, you will probably like this film more. Now definitely the acting in this film is absolutely superb. You've got Tommy Lee Jones, who does excellent as the monotone depressing K himself, and while you have Will Smith playing essentially himself and Josh Brolin playing the younger Agent K, he is really good. He just does all his nuances, all of his accents, just all of his mannerisms very well. I thought it was just excellent. Now before I go any further, I forgot to mention the story. Now pretty much the story is they're back, you know, defending the galaxy against aliens until one day an alien escapes prison, goes back to the future, kills Agent K, so Agent J goes back to the future to go kill this guy before he kills Agent K. Yeah. Now, apart from the acting, which includes the likes of Emma Thompson as Agent O, one definite standout feature of this film is the return of Rick Baker's effects. Wow. I'm so glad there's a Men in Black 3 film, because all the other two films had such interesting character designs. They looked really good, the CGI was great, the practical effects looked amazing, and they do here. There is some really, really good character designs in here. I mean, even the main villain, who I particularly didn't find the most interesting character, had pretty cool creature effects, and just the whole idea of the creature was awesome. I mean, there's some really gross stuff in here, and I'm surprised it can get away with the PG-13. But then again, you're just dissolving aliens, not splattering humans all over the place. They are mind-blowing. They are the best part of the film, I have to say. Now, before I get into this, we're gonna have to talk about the production issues. Now, a lot of issues were going when they were making this, you know, is Will Smith going to act in it? Lots of rewrites literally the day before they were filming it. This film was constantly rewritten, hastily shot. A lot of production issues made this film suffer, and I can just about see it. Luckily, they do get away with it because the chemistry between the main characters and just all the effects and the story, they overshadow the flaws a little bit. I think the main complaint is the villain, surprisingly, who's played by Jermaine Clement, you know, Flight of the Conchords. I don't watch that stuff, so I don't even know who he is. He's boring. He feels like that over-the-top, cheesy villain who's just going to be fun to watch kill people, almost root for him. But he's not. He just turns into this annoying, deep, growling British voice who's going to kill you all. His accent is like that, and at the start it's fine. Towards the end, he's just boring, he's uninteresting, and then there are two of him, and he got boring. But luckily, but this is quite negative, even as a bad guy, he's not even in the film for that long. So you will remember Men in Black 3 for the Agent J and Agent K relationship. In the other two, you'll definitely remember the villains. In this, not so much. The villain isn't really memorable. And there are also parts when action scenes are occurring where there seems to be lack of suspense. There are a couple of times, like, I think when they were making the CGI, they were making the film to accommodate the 3D. So there are a couple of scenes, especially in the time travel scenes, where they use a lot of 3D POV gimmicky crap. And luckily I went to a 2D showing, but what made that worse was that I knew that this would have looked good in 3D. So it was quite annoying to see that, yes, when you get it on Blu-ray, if you do, or if you just watch it on DVD, you're gonna notice these, like, stupid. But luckily, it's not in there too much. It's literally, the only times I noticed this was like twice, so it's not a huge thing. Another problem is some of the jokes. I mean, most of the jokes are fine, but a lot of the good jokes are ruined in the trailer, and a good portion of the jokes do fall flat. They fall more flat than last week's Roadkill. Overall, considering all the issues they went through for this film, it's surprisingly a good effort. I mean, there was problems. I almost thought they weren't even going to bother filming it, but they pushed through and created a film that was better than the second one. Is it as good as the first one, or is it even better? I would say it's either in the same territory or just a little bit behind, just a little bit. I'm going to give Men in Black a 3 out of 5 because it's definitely a light action entertainment which sees the return of Tommy Lee Jones, some really good effects, some really good acting, good story, lots of good jokes. Despite the film having a fair amount of flaws and due to the production, I will definitely say check it out. If you're not really sure about whether to go watch it, I would say either save it for a rainy day or possibly rent it. But if you're looking forward to this film and you hated the second one, or you just disliked the second film, I'd say go watch this on cinemas, because you'll probably feel relieved they managed to fix the franchise and bring it back to its roots. But for those who didn't like it, well, there's only one thing I can really do for you. Look here, please. Sorry. And that's why J.J. Abrams should have directed the prequels while George Lucas directed people to their seats. Thank you guys for watching my Star Wars review. This is Xanderfall saying goodbye.